Welcome back. We are excited to dive into something awful. Uh, what's up, everybody? I'm Joe Dove. I am the co-host of 1 Week Later. We're doing something special as we are about to release a brand new show, and that show is going to be ultimately hosted by David Arroyo. What's
Yo,
up, David? How you
what's
doing,
up?
buddy?
I am good. I am here to
You're still good after this movie?
I am barely alive.
Oh,
But then
okay.
again, I have a high stamina for bad movies. Unfortunately, I'm
Oh,
afraid that I has to subject you to a what I call a tier 6 movie, bad movie, my tier bad movie scale. So, but because the Superman movie is coming out as of this recording this week. I decided I wanted to do a bad movie based on the Man of Steel, and there's so many to pick from, right? We've talked about them all. We've talked about Man of Steel. We talked about Superman Returns. Everybody has their opinions and all.
Superman 3.
Superman 3, Superman Quest for Peace. But people can defend those movies. There's people that can defend those movies. So I figured, what can I find that can be not defended? What can I find that somebody
Indefensible.
Yes. Indefensible. Somebody can say, like, yes, I cannot say this is a good project, Superman project. And I went with Superman the Musical.
Why must the strongest man in the world be the bluest man? Tell me why.
Yes, it was legit a Broadway play.
It was a real musical on Broadway, one of the biggest Broadway bombs in the 60s. Even though it had positive critical reviews, people seemed to like it. It bombed. But before I get into the behind the scenes, why don't we talk about what exactly this movie was and what is Superman the Musical?
All right, let's get into the synopsis.
So, Superman the Musical, you can find this on YouTube. Essentially, it is a musical about the Man of Steel and his, I gotta say, personal crisis. For there was a identity crisis in the comics about the Man of Steel basically being depressed and wondering if it's worth to be Superman anymore. And this is how the bad guys beat him.
This is basically Man of Steel. It's the Man of Steel plot. Basically, this is the Zack Snyder Superman.
Yes, but add a little
with music.
With
music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With catchy music.
It's catchy. It's still in my head. Thank you for nothing.
Yes. Although, as a musical fan, I will say that there are a few songs in this musical that are actually worth listening to. One of them was Bang Pow.
Come on, pal, let's go, bam. I need a little exercise. Take that, pal, and that. Let's see what you can do.
Where Superman beats up the Crooks is probably the one that sticks out to me the most. What about you, Joe?
For me, it's We Need Him. Just that line alone is stuck in my head. It's so catchy. It's a brain worm.
Yes.
Just gets in your head. It's like RFK Jr. It gets in your head and it just tunnels its way in and eats part of your brain that makes you think vaccines cause autism. Like that type of crazy.
Yeah. It's definitely one of probably the most earworm songs I've heard in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's really a TV special is what it is. I wouldn't say it's a movie, but it's a TV movie, so I'm going to call it a movie.
Like it.
Essentially, yeah. So it stars Kenneth Mars.
Oh, well, let's get into the cast.
Oh, yeah. So the show stars as Superman, David Patrick Wilson, as one of the bad guys, Max Kenneth Mars, very famous actor Kenneth Mars. Then as the Lex Luthor stand-in, Dr. Abner Sedgwick, which is played by David Wayne, as Superman's true love, Lois Lane, the beautiful, still talented, still amazing Lesley Ann Warren. Yeah, Joe, what did you think of the cast when
I saw this cast, I think I texted you. I was like, "Isn't that the guy from Police Academy?" And it was the guy from Police Academy. That's the reporter turned villain at one point in the movie. I don't know what. I just felt like
it's a bad guy to begin with, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was the braggadocious like sub boss.
Yeah,
in this movie, and I thought that the guy who was cast as Superman actually was a pretty good choice.
Good. Yeah, he's a pretty good choice. Yeah.
He was able to flip between the hi Lois, and the I'm Superman, son of a bitch. Like it really gave you that duality, so to speak, and I really appreciated that. And to know that this was actually a concept in the '60s when they were doing
78. Yeah.
Yeah, this came out in '78, but to know this is a concept in the '60s that they brought back, I find it interesting. They didn't go complete campy. Now, the other villains, I can't say the same for, like the random mobsters that just came in out of nowhere. I'm like, "Que? Quoi? Cosi?" You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense that they just randomly had these like mobsters in there. And then the dance number at the end with all the mobsters.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I gotta say, it's actually worse, Joe. This is actually a change that was made to the TV movie here, because originally the bad guys were Chinese acrobats.
Oh boy, I'm glad they didn't do that. Oh boy.
Chinese acrobats. Yep. It was the 60s. And
Yeah, it was the '60s. It was a weird time, man. Everybody was doing drugs. Back
So,
then, LSD was the meth of today.
It is. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was pretty rotten. There was, I mean, there are stereotypes all itself, but at least I could stomach that as opposed to stomaching a Chinese acrobat group of bad guys.
Yeah, I think that would have been worse.
That was, I mean, yeah. As our Lex Luthor villain,
Dr. Sedgwick.
yeah, Sir Sedgwick. I think for me, the worst part, I knew I was in trouble when I first saw this, when the intro is having the characters introduce themselves to the audience, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, breaking the wall. Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall. That is bad.
Yeah.
Basically talking about their motivations.
Yeah.
Talking about what they're going to be doing in the movie. Basic storytelling 101. You tell the audience exactly what you're going to do, and that's just pretty much it. You tell, don't show. So, the classic little rule there of storytelling.
Yeah, well, let's hop further into what didn't work. So, as I said, the random mobsters didn't work for me. I thought they were just out of place, and to know that they were supposed to be Chinese acrobats, that would have been even worse. But another thing that didn't work for me was the boss, the mid boss for the Daily Planet. It was like so random, and he was such like a it was like they split characters and like made up new ones just for this particular play, because you couldn't use Lex Luthor for whatever reason, so you had the Doc. And then instead of having like the billionaire side of Lex Luthor, or at that time millionaire, because they didn't really have billionaires.
Yeah.
The suave, I'm here, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they kind of split Lex into two different types of personalities.
Yeah.
And I just didn't work. And I thought it was just like, oh man, you guys had something, but
yeah.
And I gotta ask, do you think making Superman a musical was a good idea at all?
I don't think it was. As superheroes and musicals, I don't think really mix very well. As a musical person, the closest musical to a kind of fantastical character that's close to superhero is more of a vigilante would be Repo, the generic opera. And that one was a bit of a not that great of a, in my opinion anyway, it wasn't that great of a musical.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's certain things that don't. I mean, I know they've tried to make a Batman musical many times. They've never. Yeah,
and then he had Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which they turned off the lights on that one.
Yeah, and broke a lot of bones.
Oh yeah, poor guy.
Yeah. There's a great documentary on that on this YouTube channel called Waiting in the Wings if you want to learn more about the nitty-gritty about that show, and it is insane. But yeah, superheroes and musicals just don't mix. It's musicals are very hard to. There's certain things you can do musicals, certain things you can't do musicals. You can only push. Surprisingly, you can only push musicals into the fantastical before it breaks. And for some reason, superheroes always tend to break it. I don't know why, but they do. So for me, what didn't work, I just felt like it meandered a lot.
Yep.
It's just meandered way too much. You had the anti-Lois Lane trying to kind of fall for Clark.
Yeah, that was random. It was just like because she was with the one of the bad guys, the sub boss,
Yeah.
and then she just flipped and tried to get up with Clark, and it was like, what?
And it kind of dropped that all of a sudden as well.
And it was just forgotten like midway. It was like, never mind about that. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, isn't that that was the actress from MASH?
It was the actress from MASH. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the actress from MASH. Another thing that didn't work is a lot of the songs tend to be, I felt like a lot of songs tend to be repetitive, you know. As a musical person, like good musicals tend to have variety. You know, they take chances, do different types of things. Even Hamilton, even though it's the same style, would have different songs that would explore the style. You have Wait for It, and then the Style Sisters, two completely different songs, but yet in the same type. But with Superman the Musical, it was a lot of the same. And I had heard, right, because I did research on this then before I came on, because I want to do a good job on this first episode.
All right.
So I did research, and one of the complaints I saw a lot online, people talked about this adaptation, was that, oh, they changed the music, they made it too 70s, oh, they dropped these songs, blah blah. I listened to the original Broadway soundtrack recording on YouTube. I listened to it. Okay, I did this for you, Joe, because I wanted to do a good job.
Thank you.
I think I lost probably 2 hours of my life that I will never get back.
Wow, 2 hours.
I mean, it could have been shorter, but it felt like 2 hours. It felt like 6, to be honest with you. But like, I listened to all the songs, and yeah, they really did a good job with adaptation in the musical, because the music in the soundtrack is worse. Like, if you think it's repetitive on the TV movie, it's actually worse than the original show. And they 70s, you know, they changed this to be more 70s, and actually found it more entertaining in the 70s version than the 60s version. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is to go through a musical and listen to bad songs. This was bad. Like 2 songs, and there were songs that we liked. You know, We Need Him and Pals, Zoop, Sam, whatever, were the only 2 standouts of that freaking soundtrack.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, like, yeah, it was so. This is one of the ones which I call a tier 6, which is basically you will either tap out or you will need breaks. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, well, let's see what worked.
Yeah, let's see what worked.
Well, the only thing that worked for me was the one song. We need him. No, I mean, for sure, the guy who played Superman was great. His song wasn't bad. When he was kind of dealing with some of his inner plight. I also felt like the main villain, the evil side of Lex Luthor, the Doc. Yeah, I didn't mind him. He would, like, his fourth wall breaking was kind of annoying after a while. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I thought his plans to stop Superman were absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to use a death ray. Oh, the death ray didn't work. Damn it. Well, it's Superman. You know, and his motivation was, I just want revenge because I wasn't given the prestigious awards when I lived in Sweden.
Exactly. Like, I'm jealous. Classic Lex Luthor thing. I am jealous that I'm not getting attention, so I will.
Yeah, but like, what does that have to do with Superman? It's nothing to do with Superman. Like,
nothing to do with Superman. No.
Like, I can say, like, okay, I had these experiments that I was doing, and then Superman came in and jacked him up, and then be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, jacked up his leg or killed his wife, or Crypto peed on something and it like acid, like aliens and rest of his lab or something. Like, that would have been cool. But just to be like, yeah, damn the Swedes, just as a random like dig. It was so funny.
Yeah,
it worked. It made me laugh. I was like, this is so stupid. Like, I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's a classic 60s trope of like ridiculous bad guys. Like, this is what made people love the 60s Batman movies.
Yes.
And shows, rather. The show than the one movie that they did was the bad guys had the most ridiculous thing. We're going to put him in foam. I can't get out of foam. Don't worry, Robin. On my utility belt, I have the anti-foam equation. It's like
bat shark repellent. Yeah.
Yeah, bat shark repellent. Yeah, it was just like so ridiculous. It was just laughable.
Yeah.
And that worked for this. I think Lois Lane was the big standout. In this whole adventure, because she kind of understood the character. She understood the assignment out of everybody in this. She was the standout for sure. Well, what worked for you? I don't want to take up the whole time.
No. I think the cast really worked to a certain extent. I think everybody knew what they were in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew what they were in, and they gave it 110%. Some people hammed up the screen more than they should have.
Oh, yeah.
Certain reporter named Max really loved the camera and really loved mugging for the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lesley Ann Warren as Lois Lane was definitely the standout. And surprisingly, she wound up auditioning for Lois Lane in the 1978 Superman. Do you
Really?
Yeah.
I think we have footage of that, ladies and gentlemen. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
A cookie.
Oh, what kind?
Macaroons.
Thanks anyway.
How about a glass of wine?
I never drink when I fly.
You never drink when you fly. Now then, is it true that you can see through anything?
Yes, pretty much.
Uh-huh. And you are totally impervious to pain.
Well, so far.
What color underwear am I wearing?
Pink.
Do you have a first name?
What do you mean, like Ralph or something?
No, I meant, what is your background? Where do you hail from?
I come from a planet in the Xeno galaxy, a place called Krypton.
Huh?
That is from the bonus features of the Superman 1978 DVD, or I think now the Blu-ray. I think she put it over. And yeah, that was her audition tape, and she auditioned for Lois Lane.
Wow.
I think this musical might have hurt her chances of getting the role, because you can tell if you see her role in the Superman musical, a lot of that carries over, and it does. I mean, I love her. I think she would have been a great Lois Lane. I know it's controversial to say, but I actually never really liked Margot Kidder as Lois
She was
Lane.
the only one I liked. I think every Lois Lane thereafter was terrible.
No, everybody was terrible except for, if you see, well, I'm going to say now because this is going to come out when the movie comes out, but I think the true Lois Lane for me will now officially be our own Lois Lane, or as I like to call her, Mrs. Maisel, because that's where I've seen her from. And
Oh, wow.
so much. But yeah,
that's a bold statement, dude.
I will die on this hill. But Margot Kidder,
Wow.
I
I'll
always
die on this hill, mofos. Yeah.
but like for me, it's like Margot Kidder was like, yeah, she was okay. But any other Lois Lane after that tended to kind of tank. Although Eric Durance, I think, from Smallville did actually a really good job. So I will say this, though. I did find, for me, it's like the new Lois Lane, Eric Durance, and of course Margot Kidder, because she's a classic, right?
Yeah.
But I think she would have been a great Lois Lane. But unfortunately, I think the Superman musical performance carried over to her audition, because it comes off a little ditzy, kind of like the Lois Lane she played in the musical.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see exactly what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, Lesley Ann Warren, I think, was the standout of all. I mean, I love her. I love her for everything she does. I mean, when I first saw her, I fell in love with her when I saw Clue. She played Miss Scarlet in Clue.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. But yeah, Lesley Ann Warren's definitely our Superman in this film.
Who's still alive?
Who's still alive, as well as Lesley Ann Warren is still alive. I think they're the only two. Yeah, there are only two people left alive here, unless you count an extra or two. I don't know. The dancing was great. I thought dancing.
Yeah, the dancing was on point. Yeah, for sure. But one of the things I wanted to ask you was Superman dancing at the end the same actor, or did they have a sub?
No, it's the same actor.
It's the same actor. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
They swap him out. I'm like, they will know.
No, that was him. That was him. I also did like the stage. I was actually kind of impressed. They did a lot. You can tell they had a very limited amount of budget.
Yeah, but it came off okay.
I mean, they had cutouts of buildings just like a comic book strip.
Right.
I thought that was pretty.
That worked really well.
That really did work well. Like, you could probably see that on your high school gymnasium and when you're, of a high school play. But they made it work, man. They shot it well. They made it work. I thought it was really good. There were little Easter eggs, like, for example, at one point, Superman meets these two college kids, and one of them is named Joe.
Yeah, I remember those guys. Yeah.
And one of them goes like, I like to draw. My name is Joe. I like to draw. And I like to write. My name is Jerry. And it's Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster created.
Right. And I also like that they had the proper Superman logo.
They did. Yeah.
And he didn't. And I was like, that's interesting. So I'm wondering, like, if there's a deleted scene, it's like, you know what? You should have us do your logo. Let me help you out. And then, like, they switch,
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, like I really did like that stuff. It's just there was so much crap that just sapped your energy while watching this thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like the cast, I think the cast was great. You know, I mean, like I said, there's a certain reporter, actor who really was taking advantage of that camera, but for the most part, everyone was good. Uh, what else did I like about it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, dancing, sets, and cast.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have this information and we're going to rock and roll with it. And that's called the reception.
So this thing aired twice on TV before it was buried for years and years and years, and somebody luckily had a tape of it and cleaned it up as best they could, doing the Lord's work of bad movie historians, and put it up on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube. It goes around conventions on bootlegs. If you want to get a physical media of it, I will probably do that this year in New York Comic Con, because surprisingly,
Hey, psst, I got that Superman musical. Come over here.
Yeah.
Come over here.
yeah, bootleg guy knows me very well. I buy all the stuff there.
Yeah.
And he also sells Gargoyle action figures, which is
That's neat.
yeah. If you can see it there, the reception, the play itself was a Broadway bomb. One of the reasons why a bomb surprisingly wasn't the content, because people seemed to like it and critics liked it, because it was the 60s and we had a very, very low bar when it came to good musicals back then. What killed it was actually something you actually referred to inadvertently, bat shark repellent, because they were supposed to have a big spread of Superman the musical in time, I believe. And that very summer, Batman, the 1966 Adam West Batman, premiered on TV.
Oh.
The movie was a huge hit in theaters, and that big spread on time suddenly became a little square on the side of it and killed any publicity it had. So it got buried under Batmania.
Wow. Just like Superman. Like once Batman 89 came on the scene, that
Mhm.
was it.
That was
Nobody
it.
cared about Superman. We wanted, whoa, that
Yeah.
Batman was killer. Whoa, what's going on? We want more of that, you know.
Yep.
So wow, what a way to go. Bats get smashed.
Bat, you know, now we know who would win between a battle between the Bat and the S, and apparently Bat always wins.
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Even in real life, you know.
Oh.
So yeah, so it was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad reception. It's clung to life due to YouTube and bootleg conventions. People have sought out information on it. There is actually attempts to do a revival.
Oh no.
Musical by the creators of Riverdale,
Oh wow.
who were fans of the musical, tried to bring it back on Broadway, and DC went nope.
We tried that. No.
We're not doing that at all. We will not allow you to do
Pull
that.
the Eric Cartman.
know.
No.
Actually, it's actually worse. From what I read, they actually did have the ability to do it, but DC said, we can't stop you from doing it, but we will make your life a living hell.
Yeah, yeah. We will lawyer up.
We will
Right.
lawyer up, drag your soul out of your body. If you try.
Yeah. No thanks. No,
So,
I ain't got that kind of money.
This actually kind of brings me to a bigger debate that I've actually been thinking about lately, and that is, for some reason, and I kind of get it, but I don't get it at the same time. When something is produced that is bad, right? So, for example, the 1977 Spider-Man, right?
Mhm.
I watched that again. People,
Man, you're brave.
yeah, I mean, it's my job, man. It's my job. You know, that was, and surprisingly, I will say this: if you watch my video on Gone But Not Forgotten of the 1977 Spider-Man, it's not as bad as you remember.
Oh.
But people, it's one of these things of people going like, my friend said it sucked, his friend said it sucked, so it sucks, you know. But no, if you actually watch it, and I'm not going to try to get you off track here, but if you actually watch it, what's really the most impressive thing is the stunts. And you'll see in my video, I talk about how a man literally crawled up the Empire State Building, how a circus performer swam between buildings. And if you tell me that show's crap, do that, you know, in the 1970s where there's no union.
Yeah.
literally die. And
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably you swing and you miss and you're dead. You know,
you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring this up is because when things are like that, they're bad. Some people really love the Japanese Spider-Man TV show, the Power Ranger Spider-Man, as I call it. And Warner Brothers or DC will bury it. They will not release it. They will not release physical media of it. They will not do anything. Our next episode will be the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, which you have not seen. And I am here to guide you, Joe, to the history of bad movies.
Ooh.
Fun.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that next week. But I'd like to bring up this topic so we can maybe bring it up next time of these things, even though they're bad, right, have a fan base. Either fan base that people watched it and loved as a kid and they still love it, or people that are curious about it. They want to see how bad is this really.
Mm-hmm.
And studios like Warner Brothers that are burying this, for me, makes no sense because you're leaving money on the table, right?
Yeah.
You're worried that the if I put this Superman the musical on Max or whatever it's going to be called 2 weeks from now, if I put it on there, oh, it's going to hurt the movie coming out this week. No, of course not. People are going to in fact, it'll help you sell more money on this, right? So I will never understand why studios want to bury stuff like this because they're leaving money on the table. And this is a perfect example. If you clean this up, maybe do a commentary, slap on some behind the scene documentary kind of bull crap, you will make money off of this. And yeah.
All right. Well, here's our final glance. All right. Well, this is the big wrap up, buddy. I think that this should have been seen, but I can't see it again. And it took me, I think you gave it to me on Monday, right?
And I told you, watch it, but take breaks.
Which I'm glad you did because it took me since Monday. I started watching a little bit. I was like, oof.
Yeah,
and I literally finished it today.
Yeah, I
home.
I have what we call a bad movie tier system. So tier one, as I was saying before to you off the air, tier one is your Madam Web, your Craven, your mainstream movies that are bad and you make fun of them, and maybe your Batman and Robin might fall in there, although it's a high tier one, close to tier two. These are the movies that beginners can watch, right? These are movies that if you go like, I want to start getting into so bad it's good movies, you can start out with these movies in tier one. Tier two is what I like to call you're starting to get hooked, right? This is the hook one. So this will include movies like The Room or Birdemic, very famous bad movies.
Yeah.
Samurai Cop is another one on tier two. I would call tier two.
Oh wow.
Yes. Tier three, you're getting into the advanced zone here, man. This is like Troll 2 level where it's like it's still bad, it's so good, but you may depending on your stamina, you may need a break at one point, but it is a classic. This is when you test your mettle. This is when you start to become a real bad movie aficionado. Tier four is what I like to call the Neil Breen. This is the advanced. This is the hardcore bad movie aficionado. This is the Neil Breen movies. If you've never seen a Neil Breen movie, then don't watch the Neil Breen movie until you're sure you're a tier, this type of tier, right? This is bad. This is like, is this bad or is this good? I've lost my train of thought. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, you come back and you go, no, this must be seen by people. Must be seen by people. And then tier 5 is this so bad it's good, or is this something that I've wasted 2 hours of my life that I will never get back? And if I had a time machine, I would go back and tell myself not to watch this movie. And this, my friends, is a tier 5, where at the end of the day, I will say, is it so bad it's good? Probably not. It's a tipping zone between so bad it's good and bad. This one is right on the razor's edge of that. So this is a tier 5. So if you are curious, just like I told Joe, be sure to hydrate yourself, bring some snacks, take breaks and watch something good between these breaks, and then come back. And this is, I can't even compare it to the Star Wars Holiday Special because that's a tier 4. This is past that. This has gone past the point of no return. I can tell you how I know it's a tier 5. My lovely wife, Natalie, we watch bad movies together. I recently made her watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Halfway through, she was like, David, I want to tap out. And I was like, no, you will stay with me. This is my second viewing of this, and you will stay with me because you love me. When I told her I was doing Superman musical, I told her, hey, the first episode of the new show is gonna be Superman musical. I'm doing with Joe. She was like, okay, I'll watch it with you. So we sat down. The first opening number, she was like, I'm out. I'm out. You know,
yeah.
out. I can't do this. So yes, this is a tier 5. So I do not recommend this movie unless you're very curious and you want to see, just for bragging rights, you want to say, I watched this. I don't recommend it. I think there are better things you can brag about, but yes, this is a tier 5.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm glad I got over it and it's over, but I'm gonna have that "we need you" stuck in my head for at least 2 days. And I thank you for that. If you are new to the channel, we thank you for sitting and watching with us. And if you are a return viewer, as one of our favored to be seeners, as you know, we are getting ready to splinter off into a new show that Dave is going to run, and I will be with him on this journey, kind of being his Jor-El. Yes, I figured out a Superman connection. There we go.
There you go.
I'll be guiding him through this, and this is going to be a fantastic adventure. We're super excited. We're going to drop all that information on our Instagram, so be sure you follow our Instagram. But until then, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It gets the algorithm all sexy and wants more people to come and check us out. So be sure to do those wonderful things. And if you wouldn't mind, tell your mama, like, share the hell out of this. Let everybody know how bad this movie is by just sharing our link. All right, guys, till next time.